achieve success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yay, we're here. 2 Sigma, we need you to turn your microphone or your camera on before we can add you to the stage, my friend. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on our topic, of course, but I can't do anything if we can't hear you, especially. So you can turn your, if you turn the sound on your browser, then that normally would work and mean that we can hear you. Where my USB camera? Superb. Okay, that's what I'm on. Tell me a little bit, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm alive. I'm grateful for life.
You're definitely alive. I'll say that much. You know, you're alive. You know, the fact that you're here in one piece tells me that you're alive, and the fact that you're moving tells me that, you know, you're winning. You're winning the battle of life today, right?
Yes.
Welcome.
So that's my own definition of being alive, basically. Because many people are living.
They
It's not
are.
everybody that is alive.
That's it. All good things happen when we're alive, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. Like I think we assume that, right? We want to believe that. Well, the good things that we can do only happen when we're alive. I think that when we're on the other side of the ground, we can't do so much. Natalie, welcome. How are you doing? Hello, Eni Antabaloba. And my superstar friend Victoria is here as well. How are you doing, Victoria? I'll keep tempting you, Victoria. Victoria is a proper superstar. A proper superstar. Now, I don't know, it's Victoria. You have to speak up at these events to get more speaking opportunities, right? And you got your own events. So you have to be vocal. That way we can hear you more. All my friends are here. Dr. Islam are here as well. How are you doing? Yes, well, you're missing my lives. You're here now, right? That cheers me up. You know, well, thankfully you haven't missed this one. So I haven't seen you for a long time. But of course, I've seen you in the DM. So I'm glad you're here. I see my superstar friend, Miss Pepperoni, as well. Welcome. Pepperoni, I don't know why you know, you're doing me hard, properly. I mean that sincerely, right? You know, coming to England on the 26th of December. Imagine that. 26th of December. That means I'm gonna have my Christmas drink before I start heading to London. You know, what you don't know, Miss Noni, what you do know is that it's a 6-hour drive each way for me to come and see you. But that's fine. My wife insists that I stay in London overnight. I'm like, do I have to? Yeah, but you know, it's a long drive, 6-hour drive, and then I spend half the day with you. You know, and then begin to come back. So no, I'll probably stay over somewhere. That means I have to try and get more things in, right? More people to see. You know, so London is my place. My friends are there, but I don't like to stay there too often. Anyway, so I look forward. I can't wait to meet you, though, Miss Noni. I can't wait to meet you. How's your 4-hour flight? Your 4-hour train from Glasgow to London doing? Someone Londoners tell her there's no such thing. You can't get to London. You can't get to Glasgow from Glasgow to London in 4 hours. You just can't. Even on a good day, at Christmas, you got no hope. I tell you that for nothing. Yeah. Anyway, prove me wrong. So if you find the train, let me know. Right. What am I going to say today? Tabiloba. So looking forward to listening to Tabiloba for sure. Welcome, Mr. Sean. I see you. I'm glad you're here. Of course, my friends, you're welcome to come in the studio. You know, if you're in the audience, please drop us a comment. So I love to hear you. And I love to welcome you properly. Number one, if you don't say something, I don't know you're here, right? I know there's people here. The ones I see are the ones I can put on stage, right? So Sean says, Dr. Islam, haven't seen you in a bit. Exactly, a hot minute, we say, right, Sean? You know, so I'm glad you're here, my friends. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, Mr. Tobiloba, I'll tell you the proviso for today, right? So I want us to talk with honesty. So I want us to talk with honesty. I want us to talk real talk, right? I want us to share
Okay.
with our friends the reality. Now, Mr. J, so Mr. Storyteller Supreme, and the legendary cover designer as well. So glad you're here. We all miss you, Dr. Islam. We all miss you, But unless you're here and come and talk, we'll feel like you've left us, but you're back. You're back. You're here in your audience. Next thing is to have you on stage, right? Coming to share with us, right? Topple over. Look, here's our conversation today. This is the what if room. I guess it is the room that sheds light on helping us achieve our bold idea. So many people think, what if, when they think about a bold idea? They have this big thing that they want to do. This thing that's going to change the world, change their world, change their lives, change everyone's lives, right? And they're like, oh, what if it goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I run out of money? What if, right? So this room is here to change that way of thinking. The idea is, what if you succeed? What if you win? What if you create your genius? What if you are that person who can transform humanity? Like the person who created light bulbs, and Edison, right? We could all be that person. We really could. And I said, but it starts with the way we think, and then the way we think then influences the way we be. So today's conversation really is based on my learning, my reality, that we are not going to experience any change if we don't change. I know what I just said. And if we don't change the personal transformation, we're not going to achieve our bold idea. Hopefully, you heard me clearly, right? You are not going to give your bold idea or anything big, anything more than you've achieved already, if you choose to stay the same. We must transform. We must evolve to be the person who does the thing that achieves our bold idea. Okay. Topoloba, do you agree with me?
100%. 100%.
Excellent. Look, so today I want to break down what this transformation looks like, what it means. You've all got the story to share, right? In the sense that all of us here have gone on to the next level. We have had to evolve to become who we are today. I guess I'll ask you simply to think about who you were a couple of years ago before you started on your journey that brought you here today. Because it's the same level of transformation that we're going to need to get to the next level, who we're going to be in 5 years' time. But I don't think many people think that way. Many people I see think, if I just hope for the best, if I just keep doing the same thing, maybe a bit harder, maybe a bit more, and I'll be successful. You won't. Genuinely, we need a transformation. That's the truth. Now, if anyone disagrees with me, please. Now, the link to join us is in the comments on the event page. If you want the link personally, now so you put a message here in the chat. Don't send me a DM into my LinkedIn DMs or to WhatsApp, because I'm not going to see it until after the show, right? Sure, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, because of course, you are the identity disruptor. So that we need a disruption in our identity, literally, to be the person that achieves our great goals. So Mr. Khan, welcome. I see you. Of course, I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Started yet? What do you mean started yet? I'm doing well today. I'm doing well today. So I've only been about 10 minutes late, a bit more, a bit less today for my 2 shows. So I'm quite happy with that. That's pretty good for me, right? So Topoloba was here, so I thought, let me start. I feel really bad for 2 Sigma, because I can't bring you on stage. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't even know your real name. look, you need to work out your sound. You need to work out your sound, or either turn the microphone on or your camera. I say it's not all. You need, if you're going to turn on your microphone and camera, you're going to turn on just your microphone. Because if we can't hear you, it's a bit moot, right? It's a bit hard. I can't hear you. You can't really add to the conversation, right? So that's the truth. Natalie, thank you so much. Keep sharing the link, my friend. Keep sharing the link. Keep sharing the link. Right, Tobilo, but let's talk. Let's talk, right? So of course, I know that you've written your book recently, and you're on a mission. It's not just your book. I know you're on a mission, right? And I can see the changes you're making, and I know the changes you're making, because you're doing a lot to become a different person, the person who does what you want to do. Tell us, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
I'll pick it up from the fact that you said you cannot really change anything if you don't change. And that's what I realized. You knew me way back from 2022. That's when we've met. And then thank God the main mention of is that, okay, you can see the transformation and all of those things. Actually, I'm on a journey to transform my own generation. That's the journey that I am on. And on this journey, it's quite difficult to continue. It will be difficult for you to continue if you don't have a clear vision, because everything goes. Every opportunity comes your way. I see a brand reaching out to me on LinkedIn a couple of weeks back, or it's up to a month now. They gave me an offer and things like, I don't want to mention the name of any brand. And I just noticed that this does not resonate with me, so I'm not interested. They wanted to give me money. So many people now, what motivates them is the money. I understand that we all need to make money because we need to be okay, and money, that is what needs to make us to be okay. Now come to the question whereby I'm trying to make an impact for my generation, for people that listen to me. But am I imparted? It takes someone who is imparted to be able to impart somebody else. If you are not imparted, it will be quite difficult for you to impart someone else. You cannot give what you don't have. And you see, when I listen to people, when I listen to what they say, I do tell myself that you can't say more than what you know. And you cannot talk out of what you know. So anything that you bring, that's one of the reasons I actually taught myself to not be preparing notes when coming from such a gathering like this, such a conversation like this. I really do not have the preparing notes, because when I know that this is what I stand for, I should be able to talk off air. I should be able to share ideas without looking into a book or anything like that. And that's the reason I will actually tell us that many of us, we are pursuing what is not adding to us. We are pursuing what is not adding to us, what is not giving to us, what is not making us better, what is not taking us to the next level. That was what I realized, that, okay, why is my life like this? Why am I always begging for a job? Why am I always on the mission like I need this, I need that? Why am I always in need? Then I noticed that what I have determines what I will attract. And that's when I went on a journey whereby I need to be transformed. What drives me is different from what drives other young people. All of us have a drive. All of us, we have a drive. But what drives me is beyond what drives so many people, so many young men like me. Because I believe if your mind, if your thinking faculty changes, your life will change as well. If what you consume changes, your life will change as well. If what you eat changes, your body changes. I don't know where we were on show like this, and I was showing to you books that I'm reading, many books. Then I began to ask myself that how do I become better? How do I get to the next level? How do I become a better person? And it's through learning, continuous learning, continuous learning. So, what if life? What does it take to transform you? To achieve your bold idea is that the only thing that it takes you for you to be able to achieve your bold idea is for you to know who you need to become for you to be able to achieve your bold idea. If you don't know who you need to become, it has to do with becoming. You must become somebody that give value. You must become somebody that got solutions for the world. You must become somebody that have all it takes to bring solution to people. You cannot give more than what you have within you. An ATM card, an ATM machine cannot dispense more than what it has been put inside. The $100,000 is put inside a ATM machine. Once even though you have money in your own bank account, even though you have that, it will never give you the money because it does not have it inside. So you must understand that what do I have? What do I have now? What do I need? What do you have and what do you need? Because it's all about becoming. So once you become somebody who has the ability to transform, who have the ability to attract the people that can enable you to achieve what you need to achieve, then definitely it will be more easier for you to attract the tools, the material that can enable you to achieve your bold ideas. So you must become always. You must always look at whom you need to become. Who you need to become. It's not everybody that can attract the audience of Mr. Any. Or is there everybody you respond to? Maybe not. So for life to respond to you in the way you are wishing, you have to become it. So don't just wish, become what you want. I'm just setting the tone for this conversation. I'll yield the mic for now, then we can still go deeper as time goes on.
You know what, my friend. I feel like saying to our friends, we've learned enough. Let's go home. But Sean's here, right? So, you've covered so many things, my friends. Hopefully you've listened. Tobaloba, the aim, the conversation today really is how can you be better, a better person. The better person is what it takes to achieve your bold idea. Staying the same is not going to get you there, I promise you. We know that, right? We know that. And so, he said it all. It's about what you know. If you don't improve what you know, you're going to carry on doing the same old things. That's not going to work. And it's also about how you think. These are fundamental. Yeah, and I think I think there's a change of personality we need to have, really. A change of who we are. That's what personality is, right? Who we are, how we think, how we behave, our default mode must change. If today you're thinking, oh, please, I hope and pray. Sean, I saw you mention hope and pray in the comments. It's not going to get you anywhere, right? If you're hoping and praying, it's not going to get you there. Only real intentionality. And here's one of my gems for the day for you. Even if you've read the books, you have to become delusional about your bold idea. Crazy, proper crazy, mad about it. And nothing's going to stop you. If you haven't got that level of commitment to the cause, you're not going to get there. And parts of that, getting to become that person that we're talking about, you're going to have to lose some friends and gain better friends. This is Tobilobi said all this. I'm like, yeah, no, really. No, there's more, I'm sure, we're going to learn today, right? Well, it's all of that. Victoria, I couldn't agree with you more. Definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results, right? We have to learn so we truly transform and evolve. Victoria, I know, eventually you get to meet Victoria and you get to find out about how this lady who has transformed her life from trauma, from victim. If you know, go and read her post, right? Go and check out her post. You see she transformed her life from a life of trauma, a life of pain, into the person who serves others. That's where she is today. She's written her book. You have to see. I know authors, right? And I know many authors who, when they write their book, they literally are physically sick as they write the chapters because the trauma is so haunting. Alas, we have to get past those moments, those memories, those experiences to become the new person we need to be. And I talked to Victoria today, and she tells you never guess where she's been to get this far. But she's just one. She's just one. The continuous learning. Look, I get what you're saying. I think Tobilobi, Sean, I'll come to you in a second, my friend. Tobilobi, please give us a true picture of how you be in the last year. When you said learning, you mentioned reading the books, but now come on, tell my friends the truth, what it really takes. What learning are you doing in that sense?
3 years ago, even as September, as a matter of fact, as December 2022, I was still working in the sawmill, right? I was still a sawmill boy carrying wood all around. Without carrying the wood, there's nothing that I couldn't feed myself. There's nothing I could do. I remember that I used to do a night subscription. Anybody who is in Nigeria would know what a night sub is on Globe. Back then, I cannot afford to pay for subscription for daylight like this. So I have to go to work 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm not talking about the work whereby you walk and your body knows that you walked. I remember that I leave home like 7 a.m. in the morning, go to work. At most, my earliest hour I get home every other day for continuous 4 months. Continually for 4 months, from September down to December. The earliest I get home is 5 p.m. and I go to work from Monday to Saturday. So I go to sawmill, I work. But when I come back, as a matter of fact, I couldn't afford any protein whenever I want to eat my food. So if I'm eating rice, I eat it all alone, no protein, so that I could be able to have some money to buy data so I can stay on YouTube. Because I found what copywriting is as at that time. Whenever I come back, I rest a little bit. Then by 10 or 11, I will be on YouTube on books about copywriting from then to like 3 a.m. for 4 months. Then I was already on LinkedIn as at that time. Then I said, like, okay, since I have learned a new skills, I have understood all of this thing, what's the next step? And I was just like, for me to be able to get a new life, that means I have to leave this old way that I'm living. I have to drop it behind. Then I said to myself, there is no, they don't allow us to use paper in Nigeria. Then I find an idea, an opportunity on how to do a paper account so that you could be able to, receive this thing. There's no so many means to receive payment from outside Nigeria as at that time as a freelancer. So we could use paper. Then I wrote an ebook on paper. I was selling it for 1,000 naira as at that time. I was like, okay, I have a product of 1,000 naira. I will live on this 1,000 naira. So my goal was like, I must sell one copy every day. I must to sell a copy, because if I don't sell a copy, there's no how we see my the little money I need for the last night sub. And I did that. I started that from January. I started doing that. I make sure that I sell one thing, one copy every day. I don't know how it's going to come, but I must sell it. I was learning copyright and I was applying it into sales. I was applying it. Then I was like, I don't know so much about copyright, and I put out another money from the one I was able to save from that 1,000, because I was saving 500 naira from the 1,000. I was living on 500 naira for the day. So that I pull out another money to learn copywriting. Then I was learning copywriting from another person. His name is Gosway Akan. The guy is also on this LinkedIn, but he's not so active on LinkedIn, like that. And I started learning. Then Gosway Akan gave her an opportunity. He was selling a course of 10,000 naira. That if you could be able to sell this course for 10,000 naira, you get a 50% discount. That's 5,000 naira for me. I was like, if I could be able to make 1,000 every day from my ebook, then I should be able to make 10,000 naira from this thing. And I said this. I became the best of God's way I can. You can recall if you listen to this. I became the best because I sell it. There was not a time he said he's going pot crash. He was selling it for 2.5. Then I was still selling it for that 10,000 naira. I give him his own 2.5. I take my 7,005. I think he give me. That was how it got started.
Yeah.
And that was when Angela Fitch came into the picture. Do you know what happened first? I told myself that I'm going somewhere else. I'm not living here again. I don't want this place again. I don't want to be in this problem again. I don't want to carry wood again. It starts from that belief. It starts from that changing of the mind. That's when Angela comes in. And that's when I got to know about thinking into results. And that's when I started LinkedIn Audio Room. So, yes, Angela changed my life, right? But I changed my life by making a decision, because I wouldn't have seen Angela if I didn't make that decision. So for you to be able to achieve your bold idea, you need to understand where you are going to. I was living in a room that time. That room, there was no ceiling. There was nothing like POP. But when I got the money, I was like, these people were good to me. I renovated that room. In fact, when I was living there in May this year, the people really commended me. I left everything. I was like, when I came, there was nothing in this room. I was living on bare floor. So I left some things in that room for the next person that is coming, that may be in the same situation that was that time. Now I have a 3-bedroom apartment that I'm living. I'm not even at home now. I came to write my exam. And then I noticed that the moment you decide to do something different, do you know what? The teachers are somewhere. You are not just ready as the student. The teachers are always there. The coaches are always there. The mentors are always there. But you as the student were never ready. So it starts from when you are ready. Who will now say within 3 years, I've written a book on copyright, on how to make sense, on how to draw attention, on how to do this, and he's selling, and somebody paying for 5 copies on a seat. that this thing is so valuable within just 3 years. Then I come to realization that it doesn't take time for somebody to change his or her life. It takes engagement of the truth. So when you
Yes.
engage the truth, you will become better.
That's area.
So I'm
Yeah.
not a motivational speaker. I'm a transformational speaker. I don't speak to motivate. I speak to transform. People that have come my way, they knows that if I said that this is what I want to do, if I said that this was going to be new client that are coming my way, some client met me when I was with my old mentality and they left because they were like, okay, this kind of old but if you come as a client these days, I see my client regarding to me like, oh, thank you. Whenever I get paycheck, anybody that give me paycheck, say thank you for helping me. I've been getting that for a couple of times now. When they pay me, there was a particular lady who I'm working with. I was just like, I had a little bit accident. The woman sent hundreds of thousands naira to me that, oh, you don't deserve to be in sickness. You are my helper. She's paying me. So the point is that what do you do? Are you helping people? Do you have the solution? Are you just making noise? Or do you have that real solution? If we come to you, can we actually get the solution we are looking for? I'm
It's
reading books. I'm even studying another degree now. I'm reading. I'm doing it. It's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. So we were taught we were taught that it's going to be easy, it's meant to be all right, but you have to get tough. You have to get tough. So I got tough because I have somewhere that is very, very long that I'm going to. That's why I see people that have left now, even my guidance, they are now more like, they are not proud. It's like, we are proud of you. We like what you're doing. I just be like, okay, for you to be able to make people proud, that means you have to make yourself proud first. So whenever I'm feeling down, I do tell myself that, bro, you've come a long way. Just relax and continue. So you are in what you are because you've not made a decision.
well said.
Now where
Well,
you are because you've not made a decision. The moment you made a decision, these people are any has been here. We always come consistently. If there is an elderly person should have given up, but you always here, even when it is not convenient. It's when I begin to do the thing, I be like, so it was not easy sometimes for earning as well to always show up. That means he use ruggedness sometimes. It does not come easy all the time. I used to think it come easy.
yeah.
The man sitting reading a book of 235 pages, reading of 100 and plus pages, and all of those things. You think it easy? I will get all of those knowledge. Then I will tell you, come and learn it for free, and I won't charge you. Then I tell my client now, if you can't pay me, we're not working together. So I couldn't say that. I was not bold enough to say all of that. So don't come to my DM if you know you want to work with me and you don't have the mindset of you want to pay me what I want. I'm not working with you. People that value it will come my way. So when you become valuable, what you need will come to you automatically. You will attract it. The kind of ladies that I attract now, I couldn't attract them 3 years ago.
That's area.
Yeah.
Even 2 years ago. Even 2 years ago, look, I remember, I said, it's a blessing. I'm sure you have this feeling too. You meet people a long time ago, and you're like, when you know, as you watch them change, it brings tears to my eyes. Really does. It really does. And I say, there's two, Mr. Tobaloba and Mr. Zion, Nigerian Bobo that I met one day, and they're like boys, and you're like, guys, we can do this, and they're like, anyway, we believe you, and they go on the journey, and the transformation is amazing. Tobaloba, he said all the way to the degree he's doing now. I'm saying he knows what it takes, and this is what I want people to understand. You've heard only half the story. Let me tell you. But this is what it takes. Where's it going to be in 5 years' time? If you want something different, my friends, you're gonna have to become something close to change your life the same way. Beatrice, welcome. I met Beatrice in Williams, conference, Human Users Conference when I went to Ghana in September. Thank you for joining us. Glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Again, William is another one. So Williams is, well, he's in Ghana, not Nigeria. And William again, he's got a dream to inspire kids. I love when you say, okay, I'll take the title Tobaloba. We are inspirational speakers. We're not. I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach. I want to speak and inspire people to dare to dream, dare to do. I'll take that. I think that's something I've learned today. I'll definitely take that for sure. Right now, William has gone from the homeless kid in Ghana to putting on conferences, speaking on stages, to being on billboards in Times Square. If you know William's story, William Plans, then if of course he's got a book as well. He's got 2 books now. The second book just came out, Kelani. The change that people have to make, Sean, is remarkable. Now, please, paint a picture for us, Sean. What more do we need to know?
Well, first, Annie, I want to, when you were talking about witnessing the change, the growth in the people you've inspired, you've caused a shift in thinking, or just seeing them from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. How about this one? Looking at yourself 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
True. Sean, even 3 years ago.
Right.
I said there was time I knew nothing about mindset at all. I was just I was a happy-go-lucky kind of person. I did all right,
right.
Because I made some choices when I was younger. But last few years, I'm learning from the people around me. You all inspire me, really. Sure, of course, we can't do this in a vacuum, right? If I wasn't doing it, I could not talk about it, right? I wouldn't be here.
It doesn't happen in a vacuum at all, no. And it works best in community, right? I want to say I heard Tobaloba talking about he shifted. When he could, he shifted to a new location. He shifted to interacting with different people, right? There's an old saying that says, you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. Right? And also, I was thinking of the Albert Einstein quote, we cannot solve our problems using the same thinking that created them, right? And so we have to change our thinking. We have to change what I see in Tobaloba. He shifted his identity. In William, he shifted his identity. William was the poor kid who thought about ending his life, if I remember the story correctly. And he rose up, and now he's taking what he learned to help stop others from walking the same path. And Tobaloba nailed it, right? You've got to learn. You've got to keep growing. I once heard this said, everything in this world is in one of 3 states. The first is decay. You do nothing, it decays. The second is maintenance. So if you think you're just maintaining, really, you're just prolonging decay. The real thing happens when it's renovation, growth. That's where things are different. And the truth is, you have to outgrow the identity that built your current situation, right? The person each of us are at this moment is perfectly calibrated for our current results. But it's not ready, it's not set for the next level. So we have to shift it. We have to do an internal shift, an internal transformation. Ask ourselves, who do I need to stop being? And who do I need to start becoming, right? When we look ahead and say, okay, I want to be a transformational, because I think I heard transformational speaker. Tobaloba, you can You can confirm that. I didn't hear inspirational. I heard transformational speaker. And that's my
Yes.
mission too. I'm not motivational, I'm not informational, I'm not inspirational. Are people going to feel motivated? Probably. Are they going to feel inspired? Probably. But what I want to see is transformation. That's what I'm about. Let's transform, rebuild the identity that you're standing on. Otherwise, you're just putting new house on a broken foundation. Right? A lot of people call it imposter syndrome, which I hate that term because it's not a pathology. It's imposter ceiling, right? We built the ceiling and we are stuck. You will not rise to the level of your dreams. You will fall to the level of your identity. And to reach bold ideas, you got to be the person who's not negotiating with your old limits. You got to tell them to bye-bye. I'm done with you. I'm going to rise up. I'm going to learn. I'm going to pick up a book on copywriting and I'm going to put it into practice. Too many people read, I read 50 books in 2024. Congratulations. But your life hasn't changed. If you don't implement, it's like this, right? There's power in here, but sitting on my desk here, it's useless.
Again, I think that is so true, Sean. Implementing is the key. So this is what I've learned. Again, anyone who's heard me recently will know I talk about. One of my real changes recently, Sean, is that I'm learning to do. So for years, I'll say, I think many of us are guilty of this. We all are. Not just many. I think we all are. We have big ideas and we're like, I'm going to do this. And then suddenly the idea just dies. It fades. Suddenly tomorrow is gone until the next big idea comes. And I said, now I've told myself, if I think it, I have to write in my book. Once I write in my book, I have to try to implement it. I have to do something. Maybe I can't implement all of them, but let me at least do what I want. Let me do what I'm told to do by my heart, by my soul, by my God, maybe. Because I truly believe these bold ideas, these solutions that come to us, it comes from somewhere. It comes from greater power than us. I think part of that transformation must be to see your potential greatness. Your greatness awaits you, but only if you do. If you don't do, you're not going to get there. You can't do if you don't. If all the things that we talked about so far doesn't happen. You don't change your identity, you won't do. And I actually think one of the most insidious, one of the most damaging, I say insidious is the word I was going to use, one of the most damaging things to us as humans is when we tell ourselves, I let myself down. I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I didn't. That kills so many dreams and I think it kills many people, full stop. If you coulda, shoulda, woulda, do it. Be the person who tells themselves, I always do. I always implement. When I implement, I half win. If I don't win, I learn. That's the reality, right? But if you don't implement, nothing happens. Life ain't going to change. You ain't going to change. Michael, I'll come back to your question in good time, my friend. Sharon Rose, so genius, welcome. I've sent you the link to Sharon Rose is doing more talking these days. So the link to your LinkedIn DM if you want to join us. But if you can't fully understand, Dr. Lisa, our menopause genius, glad you're here. Have I missed anyone? I'm sure my sister Anne is here as well. Thank you so much, Nat. I'm glad you're here. So problems. Now, Sharon Rose, she's a mindset genius, this one, I swear. I was on Sean's show yesterday and Sharon Rose got every word he said. I'm like, Sean, I don't get it. I got it, but I didn't I didn't feel it. That's the conversation Sean and I had, right? Sean talked about deep mindset, deep identity. I guess self-awareness topics that we should know, that we truly have to look at ourselves and be honest about. You mentioned that too, Tobaloba. I think a lot of this transformation is about being honest with ourselves. Being genuinely honest. If you don't want to do it, just say to yourself, "I don't want to do it." Be done with it. That's good. Take that, right? But if you should say you want to do it, damn, get on with it. As Tobaloba said, once we commit and begin implementing, life throws people and solutions to help us on that journey. Go on, Sean. Are you on mute? No, you're good. Go on, if you want to add, feel free, please.
My computer is screaming and yelling, and my new computer is tied up in customs right now.
It's coming though, right?
It's coming. The agency, it's here in Guatemala, but like I got a message from the shipper, oh, we need this, and so I sent that to him, and then yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, we get a message like, oh, we need this document signed. So it's one after the other. It's all. But I was thinking of Dale Carnegie said it this way: if you're not happy with your current situation, if you're happy with your current situation, why change? But if you're not, why not experiment?
I tell you,
right? And when you were talking about taking action, I was thinking of this, Annie. You have to update your identity to be the person who takes that action. Right? When you move yourself into that, I did it with Melanie. Melanie had shared, I'm going to be an author in the future. And I said, no, change your wording. I am an aspiring author. And then changes your thinking. Okay, what does an aspiring author do?
Yeah.
Right? Tobaloba, he decided he wanted to pursue copywriting. What does a well-paid copywriter do? And he took the steps to learn it. It's start with the bold idea. What is it? Right? You can do the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, obstacles, and I can't remember T.
Threats.
Right? If this is where I want to be, this is where I am. Let's go here. Let's not try to build the bridge from this side. Let's look from the other side and build it backwards, right? If this is what I want to achieve, where do I got to be at 75% to that deadline, that goal? Where do I got to be at 50%? Where do I got to do at 25%? What can I do tomorrow?
Yeah.
The needle.
And then it comes to what can I do today? Just take that.
Right. What can I do in the next 30 minutes?
Yeah, take a step. That's what we can do, Sean. I want to be the people who take that step. So even if that step is the wrong one, even if we don't move beyond that, I think our mindset, our way of thinking changes. We will become changes. We'll become the ones who do, who take action, who implement, who learn, or succeed. I'm saying that's the truth of life, right? That's the truth of life.
And if you don't want to fail, don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're not going to fail.
I agree.
But smart people get up like a baby walking, right? They get up, they fall on their face. They get up, they fall on their face. Fail and fail fast. Because then you gain the knowledge, right? I see Tobaloba nodding along. But he's not talking much.
It's true. The Tobaloba, because he hosts events, he's better than me. I can't resist talking over other people because when I get excited anyway. Other times I can just sit there quietly and not say a word. Tobaloba, you're a great guest to have. Of course, you're a great host of your shows as well. So, Sharon Rose is saying what you're saying, Sean. Wisdom is earned through experience, not learned through an external source. I tell you, that is genius. Now, I have to copy that.
It's so true. You know, I am what I'm about what I'm teaching is because it's lived experience.
Mm.
I tried to build on the bad foundation because I didn't even realize it was bad.
Mm.
And it all came crumbling down.
Yeah.
And like William, it put me to the edge of wanting to just give up, end life, which then has led me to my big, bold idea, or what we call the BHAG. Big, hairy, audacious goal.
That one. Okay. Superb.
Reduce male suicide by minimum 1% globally. When I think of that, that's like, oh my gosh, how can little old me do that? But when I go backwards, I can join any show and share my ideas and my thoughts, have conversations, and if it shifts one person 1 millimeter, then I'm on the right path.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I said that's a huge goal, Sean. Whether you like it, that's a huge. It's not a fear for you. You know, the fact you've said it means I'm confident that you're going to work towards it and you're going to make a dent. You know, I want to sell 1 million books doesn't mean I sell 1 million books tomorrow. It means I start the journey. Like I said, take the first step. Right? Take the first step. Make a plan. Commit to it. Everything else goes from there. Let me welcome Eric. Eric, thank you so much. It's so practical, building sparks in my heart for action, taking steps. That's exactly it. And along the way, there will be bloodshed and battle scars, Sharon Rose. See, look, and I think what you just said just now is so important. You see, my second real gem I want to share with you today is the fact that you need those cataclysmic moments, those moments on the cliff edge. Yeah, if you think you're going to succeed by a smooth road to success, a smooth road to achieve your dreams, I hate to break it to you. No, I love to break it to you. It's not going to happen, right? A part of who you need to become, the personal transformation, is a person who accepts and embraces disaster. Because it's how you rise from that disaster that's going to make you. I can't say this enough. I've learned this, right? I'm learning this as we go. Really, if you don't experience that disaster, maybe your dream is not big enough. Maybe your bold idea is not. It's not your bold idea, right? Really, expect that day when you think, "F, I'm done. It's all gone wrong." Because it's how you rise from that makes you really. Go on, Sean.
Well,
I hope you agree.
and as Toba Lobo was talking, I thought of this, and it's, where is your drive coming from? Is it a push? Are you pushing? Are you getting a push from behind? Are you running from something? Sad to say, that won't last. It will fail you every time, long term. But when you get that pull motivation, nothing can stop you. Like, if you're, like Simon Sinek said, right? Start with why. Why am I doing this? Why do I care about male suicide? Because I was there. And I know 80% of suicides are men, because when men decide to do it, they succeed. They don't game with it, right? They when they decide to do it, there's nothing that can stop them. Like they succeed 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And there's too many. I've lost too many brilliant people in my life to that monster. And I know from my own journey that it is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. It serves no one. But when you're hopeless and you don't know where to reach out, in one of my trainings, I watched a gentleman. He built this very successful nonprofit helping people with unable to walk, wheelchairs, etc. Massively successful, helped millions of people with it. The law changed in California. The whole thing fell. He was at a Tony Robbins event and he was talking about, I want to end my life. And I've got a life insurance policy because after the business crashed, somebody gave him money to invest. He lost all the money. He said, well, I'll just got life insurance. I'll kill myself. She'll get the payout. Everything will be good. After working with the coach, Tony Robbins, he not only paid the woman back like threefold, built a new successful business, but he went from the edge of the cliff. And we talked about awareness, right? You said this, Annie. If you look back at your life, graph it, right? Your high points, your low points. Take a look. I bet you 99.9% reality. Every time you hit a valley, you had 10 to 20x growth. I did it on my life. And I did, I didn't go from here to 20x. I had to hit a valley and then I did a big jump.
Yeah. I say now, it's being mentally prepared for that transformation, that journey is part of the transformation. Now, Sharon Rose, again, as Sean says, it is about intrinsically who we are, what's inside us. So I love the way you put this. I love how Queen Leah says it as well. Compounding compounds, interest as an interest, in other words, right? Compounding compounds. But this transformation that we're talking about today, my friends, it's not just one thing or two things. As Sharon Rose says, it applies to everything in your life. Everything. Your relationships. That's why I mentioned the fact that you may have to lose some people and gain some new people. So Beloved mentioned your health comes into it as well. It's about being honest with ourselves. That's what this topic is really about. Alvin, I'm going to come to you in a second. Let me play my video for the day. I love to play video, right? In case you're still wondering, what are they talking about? I don't know what I need to change. Let me spell it out for you. This video I think is brilliant. So hopefully I'll find it. I should be able to find it. Where am I? Screen share. Okay, there you go. Excellent. Share that. All right, my friends. I'll try and play just under 5 minutes of it. Hopefully I can get away with it or with YouTube. Here goes.
Hello, my name is Ryan Gottfredson, and I'm the Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author of the book Success Mindsets and also The Elevated Leader. And I'm currently working on my next book, which I'm super excited about. It's tentatively titled Becoming Better. And it's all about how do we become transformationally better across any facet of our lives. So just think for a moment for yourself. What are the different roles that you play in your life? You might be an employee, a leader, a spouse, a parent, whatever else you might be playing in your life. If you want to become transformationally better in that role, I want to tell you about the secret for doing so. And this is a secret simply because Most efforts to develop ourselves are slightly misguided. Let me explain why that is. To understand this, you need to understand that there are two different sides of ourselves. There's what I call the doing side. This is our level of talent, knowledge, skills, and abilities. But there's another side to ourselves, which is what I call our being side. Well, what exactly is our being side? I want to answer that question. But before I do, let me just make an observation. Most development efforts focus on our doing side. But my experience is most of our hurdles when it comes to becoming transformationally better are more associated with our being side. Okay, so what exactly is our being side? To get you into this, I wanted to tell you about my experience coaching my son's basketball team. My son is 9 years old. He has on his team about 8 players. These players are, for their age, they're good. But in general, they suck. And my job as a coach is to develop them. And so one of the ways that I know to develop basketball players is I need to help them to learn how to shoot a layup with their offhand when they're on that side of the hoop. And all of my basketball players are right-handed. That means I need to help them to learn how to shoot a layup with their left hand when they're on the left side of the hoop. And so oftentimes I will instruct my players when we're doing layup drills to do this when they're on the left side of the hoop to try to shoot a layup with their offhand. But I get 3 different responses to this. The first response that I get is I get some players who won't even try to shoot with their left hand. Well, why wouldn't they try? Well, to them, it probably means that they don't want to look bad. They don't want to feel bad. They're going to feel awkward shooting with their left hand, and they don't want to miss the shot. Okay, that's justifiable. The second response that I get is I get some players that will, in practice, try to shoot with their left hand, but they won't try in the games. Well, why is that? Well, in the games, they've got their parents recording them for the rest of their posterity to see. And of course, they don't want to miss the shot or let the team down or lose the game. They want to win the game. And so with this added pressure in a game setting, they're not necessarily willing to try something new, something that might feel uncomfortable, something that might make them look bad, and where they might let others down. So that's the second response. The third response that I get is I do get some players that are willing to try in practice and in the games to shoot with their left hand. Why are they willing to do this? Well, they are willing to feel awkward, look awkward, miss the shot, even let their team down in the moment. Why? Because at some level, they understand that if they could develop this skill, they could be a greater value creator for their team in the future. They're not necessarily playing for the moment, but they're playing for their future and a greater ability to create value. Now, here's a question as I talk about these 3 different responses. Do you think that these responses from my 9-year-old players are instinctual, knee-jerk reactions, or are they conscious, thought-out responses? My experience is that these are knee-jerk reactions. What this is telling me is that my players, along their being side, are at different altitudes or different qualities that range along a continuum from self-protection down here at the bottom up to value creation. You see, the ones that never try their bodies are more wired for self-protection in the moment. And the players that are more willing to try in practice and in the games, they're more wired for value creation in the long term. And this helps us to step into the definition of our being side here. So what is it? It is the degree to which our body's internal operating system is wired for value creation as opposed to self-protection. And when it comes to becoming a better employee, a better leader, a better spouse, a better parent, or whatever role you might be in, if you want to become transformationally better, I'm going to suggest that it is less about improving along your doing side, improving your knowledge, skills, and abilities, and much more about improving along your being side. and rewiring your body's internal operating system to become more of a value creator, which means that you don't self-protect in the short term. You're willing to sacrifice your comfort level to a certain degree in the short term to be able to be a greater value creator in the long term. Okay, well, how do we do that? Well, what we need to recognize is there's two different forms of development. One form of development is horizontal development. That is efforts to improve along your doing side. But there's another form of development called the vertical development, which is all about elevating and upgrading our internal operating system such that it is wired more for value creation as opposed to self-protection. Now, I don't have time to go into that in this video here, but if you want to dive into more about
hopefully that video gives you what I took from it. That is a good way to explain the change we're talking about today, my friends. It is literally moving from the person who fears the new, the person who doesn't want to fail, the person doesn't want to look awkward, doesn't want to feel awkward, doesn't want to do it wrong, doesn't want to take a risk, as you say, Eric. It's about moving beyond our old habits, our knee-jerk reactions. That's what our habits are, really. Automatic responses, right? It's what we throw out as soon as something happens. We must move beyond living in that self-protection zone where we know what's going to happen. We're used to what happens. That's called your comfort zone, really. We must become the other people, right? The person who plays for the future. That's what your bold idea is. Creating a value solution for humanity on a scale that we can't even imagine. As Sean's mission, for example, that's on a scale. How many people in the world? 9 billion and more? We're increasing every day, right? So Sean's talking about impacting 9 million people at least to get even close to his goal. I'm saying that, yeah, scratch your head, Sean. I would too. That's a mission. I want to publish 10,000 books. As ludicrous as it sounds, but look, all this thing can be broken down. As my son told me, you only need to publish 1,000 books a year, Dad, for 10 years. I'm like, okay, that's doable. Maybe not today. It's doable one day, and I can see I can do it. One day I'll be publishing 10,000 books. Right now, if I get to 50 books a year, I'm happy. 100 books a year, yeah, it's a part of the journey, right? But it's keeping that goal in mind, the goal to do what it takes to become the person who does that thing. I can't say enough. That's the conversation we're having, really. Sean, did you like the video? And Tabalova, did you like the video? Levine, did you like the video? When I watched it, I was like, wow, now I get it.
Yeah, he goes deep. I would nail it down to this. Every bold idea is guarded by a single thing. Comfort.
Yes.
Not laziness, not lack of resources, not lack of knowledge. Comfort. Our invisible loyalty to what's familiar, predictable, and as he highlighted, safe. So I would say, are you willing to disappoint who you used to be to become who you need to be?
Great question, my friend. That is the question. Now, again, as Annie says, it starts with a decision. Are you willing to disappoint your old self to become who you need to be? Now, if you decide, yes, I am, your life could change. It really could change instantly. My friend, Dr. Paula Washington talks about commit to what you want to do. As soon as you commit, everything is possible. If you never commit, if you stay, in that stuck place, the comfort zone, nothing changes. Nothing will ever change, right? But maybe you're happy there. Again, Eric, look, This is about taking risks, real risks, big game. To achieve your bold idea, what's your bold idea, Rennie? Anything you want to create for humanity is a bold idea. Someone created a post-it note. I'm saying that's a bold idea. Right? So that the light bulb was a bold idea. And everything, look around you. Everything you see is a bold idea. What can you create that everyone's going to be using? So the example I always give is a bread knife. Who hasn't got a bread knife? Everyone's got a bread knife. Sean, you got a bread knife? I'm sure you have. Have you got a bread knife? Right. We all have a bread knife. Olivia, you have a bread knife? I'm sure you do, right? I do.
But Annie, honestly, I'm having FOMO over a new knife I saw. It can cut through aluminum like butter and still slice a tomato like day one.
It's not true, Sean. It's not true. As someone who buys knives regularly because I go around and I like a sharp knife, I don't like it. But they all go dead after all. They all go dull, right? My bread knife point is that it's something that we don't need. Someone created it, and that's their bold idea. Do we have to use it every day? No. Steve Jobs and his iPhone. I'm saying these are bold ideas, people. We have that within us. We really do. Go, Sean. Before I go to Adivine.
I'm gonna date ourselves a little bit.
Please.
But like you said, the bread knife. We all have a bread knife, right? Somebody had a bold idea to create a bread knife. And it's still important today. Do you remember pet rocks?
What's the name?
Are you old enough to remember that?
No, probably not. It's not age. It's that I grew up in Nigeria, so Tobaloba probably look like me. And there's some things that we just never got.
Tobaloba is too young. Tobaloba is too young. Like this is.
What's a pet rock?
1975. Some advertising guy started selling rocks.
I know what you mean.
With googly eyes stuck on them.
Yes.
And he put them in a little box that looks like a pet carrier with holes and a little
rocks with eyes and their pets.
Made millions. How's that for a bet? I mean, who would have? My son loves rocks. Like every time we go out, he's settled down. He used to go out and we come back with a bag full of rocks. I'm like, oh, now what do we do with these? But this guy came up with an idea in 1975, sold millions. So your bold idea might seem strange, but like you said earlier, Annie, if you got it, there might be something behind it. It's from a deeper, bigger place than ourselves.
Indeed. Truly. Sharon Rose says, I know pet rocks. I heard the story, Sean, so I can't say I don't know the story, right? It sounds crazy, but your bold idea is your big idea, which someone might need, which someone will need, right? Trust me. I'm saying, trust yourself.
And I almost forgot.
Go on, please.
So decision, I put in the chat, right? Even not making a decision is a decision. But the other thing is the ending of the word decision means to cut off. Just like incision, circumcision, all of these words. So to truly make a decision, you have to cut off the other options.
It's true. It's true, right? I know Sean better from his show yesterday now. He said before I would wait for Sean to add, but I know Sean speaks and then he stops. Once he said it, Sean just stops. And I'm used to it now, Sean. That's you. Eric, I like your bold idea, my friend. To be the expert that professionals rush to for advice, coaching, and business networking. My friends, it's necessary service. People, business people need it especially. Why not? And why not you, right? Really, why not you? Tobiloba, I know you're dying, and you say you've been very quiet for a long time. before I go to Alavini, anything that you want to add from what we've shared, what we talked about in the last God knows how long, right?
Say, as much as we share, we should always learn to listen, right? Because a lot of things you guys have shared. I'll just just pass, because when you are a kind of person that you learn, and here's what I do when I listen to stuff. I learn, I get everything into my brain, then I begin to shovel in my head. I take the one that I need, I discard the one that I don't need. Do you understand? And everybody could know who Bishop Oyedepo is. Bishop Oyedepo says something. He's a very wealthy man of God. He's a very wealthy man of God. He has, he has been using private jets for a long time now, right before I was born. Then he now said there was a time God came to him that he should stay in Nigeria and don't go anywhere until he tell him to. Until God tells him to. And he has been there for the past 7 years. He has the money, he has the resources, he has the everything, right? To go, to be, and to do all of those things. So here's what I want to say. It's not like you cannot achieve what you want to achieve. It's just like you allow so much distractions. Somebody else's dream is what you are pursuing. The moment you see somebody is doing this, I think we need that disruption. See, whenever I say identity disruptor, Sean is an identity disruptor. We all need disruption of some old belief. We all need some disruption of the things we've always believed. Like you said earlier, we cannot build a new house on an old foundation. It has to be uprooted. It has to be either. Yes, we can use the same landed property to build. That is ourselves. We don't have to die, but we can discard every other thing, and you are the landed property that you can build another foundation on, and for you to build a new house. If you want to become somebody, I'm working on a book called The Realistic Urgency. It's not for the people that want to lazy around. It's not for the, you can never see a playboy who become a significant adult. A playboy will end up as a playman. So you need to understand that. So if you want to do something, don't just say, I want to do this. Be ready to pay the price, because there's always a price involved. I'll just use the mic. Oh, we lost Alovin.
No, well said. Alovin, come back. Now try again. This tech has been kicking people off stage randomly. Just outside the studio. Please do come back. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I think so two things I want to point to. As Annie says, how we handle adversity and the way it affects us is important. But it's crucial never to quit. Never give up having faith in yourself, as in God. That's so true, right? Faith. Again, if you'd asked me, maybe even a year ago, Sean, I would say to you, faith. I don't believe in. Yes, there's something bigger than us, of course. I don't know what it is, right? I've had to learn that there must be a God. Otherwise, the odd things that happen in life can't be explained. Right, and I said, and I'm not one to go to church, but I'm going to say, but truly, every day I write, thank you, God, for all the goodness I have to be who I am today, to do what I do, and to have the life I live. Right, I said, but faith is so important. It's not about what you believe in terms of religion. It's knowing that the world works in a certain way, and it will not control all of it. That's why when Topolobo said, when you're ready, the right things come in front of you. I just think that happens. There must be something out there that's bigger than us. I say again, right? But we must be able to handle adversity. Sean mentioned, the dips and the peaks, right? If we can't rise again after adversity, we're done. We're not going to go very far at all. You know, that's our reality. When I say, but these are all parts of the person that we need to become. Look, I would be grateful if you two could address a question that Michael asked earlier. Let me try and find it. Okay, here we are. Okay. So Michael says this bold idea is to look like, I guess it's to look like a flat belly, right? That's it. They want to have a flat belly. But he's been losing weight everywhere except his belly. Actually, it's like his belly has gotten bigger, while the rest of him has got smaller. I've seen Michael, and Michael is 10 stone. I'm like, Michael, how much weight do you want to lose? 10 stone for a grown man is terrible. Let me tell you, if I was 10 stone, you'd not be worried about me. I'd be calling the doctor, right? But Michael says, actually, it's like my belly got bigger while the rest of me got smaller. So what's happening here? He wants only true smart ass responses. Please bring me to a reality that's a fantastic fantasy. Who wants to address this? I mean, I could address it. If I'm to throw my hats in the ring, and then let's see what you two come up with. All right. Here's what I would say. I would say, Topolobo mentioned earlier, it's about being aware of what's really happening to you and what you really need to do to get to the next level. Anyone will tell you to get a flat belly, there's certain exercises you can do. I'm not saying be overweight. I'm saying that's not the answer. My son tells me every day, right? There's exercise. If you want a flat belly, here's what I would say: build your strength, build muscle, do pull-ups. I'm saying that's the answer to getting a flat belly, right? That's how you get the six-pack. Now, to just not eat and to eat less and less, it's a lazy way to gain the body you want. So all you're gonna do is shrink. You're not working on any muscle groups. Lisa, I wonder what you think, right? So unless you work on muscle groups, I don't understand how you're gonna get the muscles in the right places that you want. That's my take. Sean Tobiloba, even Alavine, who's brave enough? Got Tobiloba. Sean's handing over to you, my friend.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Perfect.
From what I know, each situation, each problem has a different approach of solution. And the last time I checked, if you are still eating late, no matter what you do, if you eat late in the night, that one is responsible to big belly and the whole stuff. It's just like you saying that, you just like you saying that I want to change my life. Do you understand? Then you said you want to change your life, you want to think differently, but you do not live what you used to do. Do you understand? And now you're not pursuing both what you used to do and what you are doing now. And you expect yourself to see a different result that is only exclusive to what you are currently looking for. So in my opinion, if you say to us, you've done exercise, you've done this, you are doing all of those things, and this is your goal, there must be what you need to do that will bring the solution that you are looking for. It means you have been doing something that only complements what you are seeing in your life. So the changes we are looking for is not actually is not actually by doing everything, it's by doing what is important. So we need to understand that, okay, this kind of exercise you're doing, this kind of exercise, um is it going to be the solution to this thing that you're looking for? To the belly flat or whatsoever, a flat belly, is it responsible for it? Because I know if you are growing your arm, if you are growing your thigh, there's different exercise. Some will tell you to do sit up, it will grow this way, to grow this way. So we need to revisit what you're doing. We do really need to revisit what you are doing and revisit the things that you eat and the things you do. So it always boils down to the activities we engage. It always boils down to activities we engage. So once we are change the activities we engage, definitely we see a better and different result. So I use my mic. I'm not what is it called?
A nutritionist or a fitness coach?
Yes,
We're neither
I'm
of
not a
those, right?
fitness coach. I'm not a fitness coach.
Yeah. Alavine, maybe you are a fitness person and you know more than we do. You say if you want to address this, feel free. Otherwise, please share with us what you want to share with us. So now Sean's fallen off the
Hello.
stage for time. How are you doing, my friend? How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great, except I don't know why StreamYard, let's say, ejected me. Anyway, I'm here, I'm back. Hello to Belova. Hello everyone. So about I would say something about the fact in general when we start doing exercise, stretching or whatever, in general, our fat, will disappear after. But at the beginning, for our belly, the muscles would build before and the fat will cover it. And because of the fat cover the muscles, we have the sensation that our belly is still here and maybe bigger. So I encourage him to try to do some stretching, not hard ones. We don't need to go for that hard things. Um, so unfortunately, I can't show it right now, but it is about you stretch yourself. It's like you stretch by turning, so it's not churning because it is not correct. I think he needs to go for stretching because when you stretch, you broke the fat cells, and like that, they disperse and they become muscles little by little, or they are consumed by the body. It's better said like that. Our body can break them faster if we go for stretching. It's like that. For example, I saw a lot of people, young lady, maybe when they are teenager, they are very very fat, and after 6 months of stretching, they lost their let's say the appearances of fatty girl, and they become very slim, and you can see muscles beyond because the fat had disappeared. So I encourage him to go for stretching. Often we neglect that part, but stretching can help you to destroy the fat part and to build muscles. But we need to be consistent and not every day, because when you do that every day, it is dangerous, because every time we stretch something, we broke a little bit some muscles, microfibers, okay, not the big muscles, but when we stretch, let's say microfibers are breaking, and they need to heal in order to become stronger, and it is like that you can have better muscles and stronger muscles and less fat part in your body. So let's say you have to start first. Yes, it is important to start with let's say 2 times per week, not every day, but at the beginning every day it is very dangerous.
I agree with you on that one. Because I used to be one that I thought I could exercise my way to health. So I was trying to exercise every day. I was doing 5 hours every other day. Even then, I was doing it to literally lifting, pushing, pulling, all these things. Sharon Rose talks about many things in the comments. I'm going to come to those in a second. But literally, it took my 16-year-old son to tell me, Dad, all you're doing is exhausting your muscles. You're exhausting yourself every day. Stop doing it. Literally, as Valoba said, it's about doing the right things for you. And the right things for me, it's less than I've ever done. I'm not saying better results. This is the point. If you're doing the right thing for you, to be, what's the word I want now? To have that transformation that you want, to be the person you want to become. It will work.
Yes.
And you'll be amazed. It's less effort, probably more enjoyable, and you will get there. You get there very quickly. Let me go through some of the Sharon Rose's comments and the other comments, and I'll come to you, Alavine, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on the personal transformation that we need to make to create anything. So Sharon Rose says you may have food sensitivity issues. Maybe. I say I have no idea. And I say my sister Annie says fast walking is a great power, and great power walking is brilliant. I think this is the best one yet. Sharon Rose says, Malcolm, Calm, Michael, whichever one you want to be today, DM me. Not DM her. I really do, right? I say, and would say, Annie says, a lot of factors, to this: medication, stress, too much carbs, hormone levels, eating late, not burning, the food that you eat. It's all of that. Of course, Sharon Rose also gives you, a strategy. 333 daily 111 of each of these things, Mr. Michael. Squats, dips, push-ups, and walk 2 miles. Wow, gentle walking with good posture in nature, ideally. Again, you get an idea. There's many different ways, but which one's right for you? This is the last two. So Eric, I agree. So let's have a strategy that's right for you. How do you know what's right for you? Maybe it's to take a risk and try different things. And maybe it's not try different things, but try things with intention. Don't just try things. Try things that you have a feeling will work, for whatever reason. The evidence, how your body is. But it's about being honest with yourselves, right? And that's Sharon Rose's. Another big idea is to go grain-free for 30 days and do a 1-minute plank every day. Isn't that simple? Is that going to work for you, Michael? I wonder. That's what I can do, right? So Stanley, I see you. Glad you're here, right? Thank you so much. Sean, we lost you, Sean. Sean says, so many factors can lead to this. I appreciate all that was shared. I wondered if cortisol or stress could be a factor. There's a lot we're getting on with there, Mr. Calm. Go and find the answer for yourself. Do nothing, nothing's going to change, right? Find the answer. Whatever that means. Alavine, come back. Where's she gone? She's gone again. Oh, Alavine. I tell you. Okay, right.
So it's late being, I think.
No, it's
past 12 a.m. now.
Really, in her part of the world. Okay, but she's near you. She's
3 hours. She's 3 hours ahead of me.
Okay, in the Indian Ocean. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's next to Africa. That's why
they're in Indian Ocean. So.
Oh, so I'd love to work with this. She got to speak. I'll say that much, right? So my friends, I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. Of course, I see what you're saying, Annie. What you put in your mouth, it goes on your hips. But I follow strict diet, being diabetic. So isn't that the truth, right? You know, Tobiloba, now thank you so much, my friend. Now, you said you've shared some genius with us today. You know, now, you say, you know, thankfully, the perfect example. So, Stanley, I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It gives me a reason to play your video, and then hopefully people will contact you about Power Thinking, the Power Thinking app, which you can download for free on the app stores and Play stores, right? You know, look, Tobiloba, well, so think what you want to leave our friends with. Let me play my sponsor's video because I like, you know, after what's what I'm looking for. I have to give my sponsors thank you for making my shows happen. My clients pay for half the shows, my sponsors pay for the other half. So Stanley's one of my sponsors. So 46 seconds is the video is, so you can't complain about that, right? But please think of below about what do you want to leave us with today. So let me play the video and I'll come back. We'll do our last things today, and then we can enjoy our evening, right? Here goes.
It's time to change the way you think. Download the new Power Thinking Corp app, available now in your app store.
Awesome. You know, in case you're wondering, there is a method to my madness, right? It's hard to get a response when you play an ad and the person's not in the room. Think of when you watch TV ads, right? You ignore 99.9% of them because there's no way. No, the people are not there. You don't know who they are. You can't reach out to them. You know, so when my sponsors turn up in the room, then it makes sense because then you can connect with them. Whether that's in the chat or whether that's or during an event right now, right? Like, it's much easier for me when my sponsors are here. But now, do bear in mind, Power Thinking app, you can get a £10 Amazon voucher. Just for downloading the app, right? And also, the way Power Thinking works, if you introduce people who take out membership, then you get 10% of what they pay. Let's say the monthly fee, $20 thereabouts, less than that for me. I'm saying if you get to introduce people, it would say 3 people essentially mean you pay nothing. Introduce 3 friends to Power Thinking, and it means that you literally pay nothing and carry on getting Power Thinking input, which is many things. There's the events, there's the advice, there's the daily motivational, mindful learnings, I get the principles, whatever I call it, and that's you get as well. I do love Power Thinking. I try, so Stanley, I try, right? I try. Alevine, I'm so heartbroken. We have to get over, right? Okay, so you get 25% of what your friends that you introduce pay to join the app. That's every month, right? Each person you bring, you get 25%. I'm sure you can do the maths. If they bring enough people, they bring 4 people, then it's free to you. That's how it works. So do connect with Sir Stanley Green and see what what the Power Thinking can do for you. All right, Alevine, that's sad. We didn't get to hear you. Well, we had her insights on the exercise front, and that's quite enlightening. Tobiloba and I, we're like men. We like go do the exercise, go do the work. Can't help you. But of course, do connect. Michael, connect with people in the audience who know nutrition. Now, Lisa, of course, that's how I call her Dr. Lisa. She's a nutritionist, registered nutritionist for that. So talk to her as well. Tobiloba, it's been a great conversation. I must say. But you've done a lot to share the reality of what it really takes. Now, for that, I'm truly grateful to you, and I'm grateful to you for being the person you are. And I say, no, I talk to my friends these days about how I want to be inspired. It's not nice feeling like you're people looking up to you all the time. So I like to look up to other people because we all need inspiration. We all need that transformation input from other people, right? And you're one of those who shows what we can be, to be what we can be, to be who we can be. Okay, good for you, my friend. What do you want to leave us with today, my friend?
See, permit me to rephrase a particular Bible verse that
Please
says
feel
that seek for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. But I would say that seek transformation, and everything else you needed will be attracted to you.
Mm.
Don't wish for it. Go for it. Don't think about it. Work for it.
That's right.
Life
Beautifully
won't
said.
ask you more than that. Life
No,
will only ask you that. I just want you to be transformed. Be in the alignment. Become what you want me to bring to you, and I will do my due diligence to bring it to you. That's what the life is asking you for. That's all you need to give to life. Become who you want to attract, who you want to see. Then you will attract all those blessings to you. You attract them. There is no rocket science. It's not rocket science. So that's what I'm just going to leave us with today. And then just go on with that, ponder on it, seek for mentorship, seek for training, look for people that are ready where you are going to. And don't just learn like this and discard it. Learn and implement.
Yeah, as Sean said
Learn,
earlier.
implement. Don't just be the type of person that learn and at the end of the day you've got nothing to show for it. So knowledge is just a potential power. The application of it is what makes it power. So that's it.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Well said. Eric, now how do you get alerts, reminders for our sessions? Look, I DM people for my events, and the way my inbox works on here is simply that if you respond, if you come to events, you'll be higher up in my inbox because I DM you every time. The people I DM every time: Sharon Rose, Sean, Christina, Christiana, my sister Annie. I say there's people, my Dr. Lisa. She comes to every event because I invite her every time, and Alavine as well. I'm saying there's people I invite to every show. Topoloba, because you're on my WhatsApp, you get all the invites, right? That's a way. There's no LinkedIn hasn't found a way to put our event on the list, sadly. So we'd love to have you here more often. Of course we would. And do come and share with us. I appreciate you for spending your gym session. And to change, you're going to begin exercising, walking. Look, the truth, and this is my final message to you, my friends. The truth doesn't lie, right? We know the truth. Many of us know the truth, but we lie to ourselves. We think, oh, if I've done that, maybe I can get lucky. You're not gonna get lucky. Intentional action is what's gonna get you there. See, I always tell my friends, and I tell my son the same thing, right? If you want to be a doctor, think like a doctor, walk like a doctor, talk like a doctor, be like a doctor. That's what that means. I'm not saying pretend to be a doctor. I'm saying do what doctors do. Learn what they learn. Hang out where they hang out, right? If you do that, you become a doctor in the end. That's transformation. And you know what you want to be. You know what you need to do. Go and become the person who does that thing. That's what I've learned in life. Sharon Rose, it's not the usual expect. You're now one of you're one of the ones who I always invite, and now you Today I started sending you the speakers link as well, because now you started talking, I want to hear more. We need to hear more of your voice, right? We really do. You know, and I hope for my suspects to grow. You know, but you know, we need to grow with the right people. You know, so Topoloba, you know, of course he's going to get a seat because he's doing, not just talking, right? So, and I'm sure you heard me cry about this many times, Sharon Rose, in the last couple of weeks. A lot of our friends talk, but don't do. If you do, I will love you more. If you just talk, I will love you. Of course I will. But I'm not going to spend my time necessarily inviting you, chasing you, listening to you. You know, I want people, you know, it's about time that we start now focus on the people who are doing. That's my 2026 mission, and it started already, right? Muketsi, if I pronounce your name properly, thank you for joining us. Again, you know, connect with me, then you know, you be on my list. Again, send me a DM. Connect with me, send me a DM. Everything in my life's simply about those who are top of my DMs. You know, some people eventually will go down to my DMs because I invite other people, blah blah blah. You know, but I'll invite you if you want to be invited, right? Sharon Rose, do I get to publish that book? I hope I do. What's the book about anyway? Well done, you, Sharon Rose. Thank you for being the star that you are. See, you work on your book, and if you work on your book, I'm your friend. You know, I want to publish a book. That 10,000 books is not going to do itself, right? You know, so you know, let's talk, Sharon Rose. Let's talk. I'm sure everyone's going to be chasing you if you want to publish a book. But I want to publish that book, right? Walkers, not talkers. Exactly that. You know, action takers is the word, Sharon Rose. Action takers are the ones that I think we all need to be aligned with. But to do that, we must be action takers ourselves. That's reality, right? Look, thank you so much, everyone. So I appreciate you spending your evening with me. You know, hopefully you've got something from joining us today, and hopefully, you know, you will begin to implement and truly change your life. You know, that's the plan. That's the goal. That's what we're here for. Action takers, indeed. Look, enjoy your evening, my friends. I'm back here again in 2 weeks' time. I'm back here again tomorrow, really. And tomorrow, my what if, not what if, tomorrow is being your authentic self and business live conversation tomorrow. And it's a bit late for my African friends. Alas, the conversations are riveting. Tomorrow's conversation is, how do we deal with customers with whom we are in conflict? What is the thinking? What's the actions? What's the approach? What's the challenges? And how do we deal with customers that we are at war with? Are we ever at war with customers? I wonder. Come and tell me your strategies. Come and share with us. Let's learn together. So, of course, now I'll send the DMs out tomorrow, and I look forward to learning from you how you deal with those customers with whom you fall out for whatever reason. You know, whether it's because they haven't paid you, they haven't done what you asked them to do. You know, they've said something wrong about you. That the conflict's conflict, right? Serious conflict. How do you deal with those people? So I'll send the DMs. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
It's time to change the way you think. Download the new Power Thinking Corp app, available now in your App Store.